you the structure of my lecture. I will go some portions in pretty much detail, and some I will just show the visuals quickly to meet the timeline. Okay, I'm going to start with a basic introduction to the Design Alliance, which I founded in 2000, and a little bit about the company, its background. Because it is important to know where we come from and the type of work we do. Let's start with the Design Alliance. The Design Alliance is a collaborative network of Asian design consultancies, and we have representatives in 11 countries, including India. We speak all Asian languages, and I expect next year Mongolia, Japan, and perhaps a few countries in the Middle East to join the grouping. Basically, this idea came about because a few of us got together and really tried to think what really makes Asia Asia. Asia is an evolving rhythm composed of the vernacular, the global, the push and pull of East and West, and this is very evident in all Asian countries. Many of us were Asian kingdoms. The people had privy to great esoteric and ancient knowledge. Some were very, very powerful, while others were living under the yoke of colonialism. But each of us have a very distinct tradition of aesthetics, which are now being re-examined, revitalized, and often celebrated, or even equally often bastardized in contemporary visual expression. The Design Alliance had been launched in Japan in 2003. We did a major presentation, and it's very interesting when you look at pictures because we grouped, the presentation was to present 3 countries, one after another, and we combined very diverse countries. Like on the left, you got Hong Kong, you got in the center is Laos, which is one of the poorest countries in Asia, and on the extreme right on the end is Malaysia and Islamic nation. And when you actually look at the visual tradition, all of us share very similar traditions. As a group, we do a lot of cultural and art projects. Tasting Asia was an exhibition just looking at Asian foods and how each of Asian countries relate to each other. We invited fine artists to integrate the food we choose, and this is the entry from Malaysia. We do a lot of seminars for governments, for educational institutions. This was in Bangkok. This was in Taiwan. We did a 1-week workshop for students and for young designers. This was a presentation by Elephant Design of Pune, whom we invited for the event in Taiwan. And also we contribute a lot of artistic projects in various countries. This is Subrapto Browning, whom we invited for the Taiwan event, and we were invited by the Vietnamese government to do a branding seminar as well. But we are also very interested in helping very poor, underdeveloped countries like Laos to kind of see how it can export its product. Laos is facing a lot of trade barriers, and definitely very unfair trade barriers. For example, they are able to import very cheap cloth, probably manufactured in China, which carries American brands, but the Laos are not allowed to export the textiles into America because they don't meet industrial standards, because the textiles are all handmade. I mean, how can they meet industrial standards? We have also initiated projects to donate books and especially old books, which I know designers buy a lot of books, and a lot of them are just lying around in the library. And we initiated this project through Eco Brother to donate books to Laos, which has absolutely no access to information. Most of these books are on fine arts and design. Particularly, we were interested in giving books on Asian design to people in Indochina. And oftentimes we've been asked to talk to the Kaiser government about the role of design for developing countries. My company is part of the Design Alliance, and we have done pretty high-profile projects for the UK government. This is Ironically, we are promoting British design in Southeast Asia. But the British government was really looking for partnerships because a lot of the expertise were not available in each of the individual countries. And we did a lot of projects across Southeast Asia, in Philippines, in Australia. We did all the material for the British representation at the Mercedes Fashion Show in Vietnam, and also Hewlett Packard. Now it's very interesting because I've been working for quite a bit of multinationals, and I think that's where we learn our skills, we learn the methodology, we learn how the process of things, and I think this was very valuable experience for us because now we are applying the same techniques, the same process for Asian companies, as you know, and for Asian companies especially moving into other regions and even globally. A project for Hewlett Packard. I will go slightly into more detail on this. We were basically doing the brand management for HP Bazaar. HP Bazaar is really the cutting edge division of Hewlett Packard. Hewlett Packard has been known as among consumers, among the laymen in Southeast Asia as a kind of a fuddy-duddy, old-fashioned type of company which sells laser printers and toners. But HP Bazaar is on the cutting edge. We were working with Bluetooth as far back as 8 years ago, and we were responsible for communication across the region, particularly Singapore, Bangkok, Beijing, Tokyo, Helsinki, and France. What we did was that we did the copywriting and we communicated the same material, but in different guises, in the sense that we use pictures which are more relevant to locals, as well as the language changes for some of the countries. And basically, we were working on this for the last 2-3 years, also including developing a photo library for Hewlett Packard, which is to be used worldwide. You'll be surprised that a huge global organization like Hewlett Packard does PowerPoint presentations like this. Okay. And it is certainly not the befitting of a multinational like Hewlett Packard. And what we did was that we proposed to them that we look at all the diagrams which they use worldwide and try to organize them in a more standardized form, a more easy to understand form. In this role, our company is quite strong as information designers, and we thought that we could finish this project in 6 months. In reality, actually it took about 2 years because we had to tackle all the variations. For example, we have to create color variations because, for example, if a company uses the diagram against a red photograph, you wouldn't want a red diagram. And different countries have different configurations. Like for example, Helsinki, they didn't have an operator, whereas the other countries. So we have to have many variations of the same diagram. And we did the guidelines for those, nomenclature, and as well as designing diagrams for print media, for electronic media. I'm just quickly going through this because this is our background. We are not into the actual lecture yet. But if this gives you an idea of what information designer or identity designer or the so-called brand consultant now does. I'm not very comfortable with the word brand consultant because for a design company, we always see brand as identity. I think brand is something which is coined by marketing people and it's especially hyped a lot by advertising agencies, and nowadays we switch. We use the word identity and brand one or the other. This is quite matter actually in that sense because our work is actually quite different from actually in Helsinki.